We ring the bell and light the candle to remind us of the light within. Let us begin our service of our opening statement in the bulletin. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Let's take a deep breath and be in the moment. Let us repeat. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Our songs will be led by Doug and Brogno and Jeff Hott.
I invite you to stand and sing Surely the Presence in the opening of your book. Page 306. .356.
I've got
Thank you, Doug and Jeff. So we have some announcements. We've already had a couple announced, so today after the service, you can join the Zoomers for the after party. You can Zoom in with your phone, iPad, or computer. Details are in the bulletin insert. The book study group Thursday, they meet Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Zoom. This week they're finishing Falling Upward by Richard Rohr with a discussion about the afterword. The group has chosen its next book, so orders today. That book is Illusions, Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah by Richard Bach. You can contact Ernie Kessel, and her email is also in the bulletin. Barbie mentioned the walk, which is awesome. And Janet mentioned next Sunday, hopefully everyone can join in on the homecoming. A wonderful thing's going to happen here at Unity on October 4th at 3 p.m. Bring any critter that you have. A lizard, a dog, a bunny, a cat. We're going to have a blessing of the animals downstairs. If you've never come before, it is pretty spectacular. New Hope Animal Rescue and Crazy Ladies Animal Rescue will be joining us with Animals to Adopt. So we need volunteers to hand out goodie bags and the Unity booklet, The Spiritual Wisdom of Pets. And again, they're up here. I think they're outside the office door. So feel free to get one of those. Okay. I'd like to take a second and welcome any new timers that have come to join and feel the love and peace within Unity. We have a couple. Al is back. We welcome Al. Welcome. We also recognize Monique. Yay! Rita and John, and Aaron and Lisa. Welcome. And we also welcome Alicia's husband and her wonderful sister, Cindy. Yes. Here you go, Janet.
My name's Elizabeth. Thanks for having me. Elizabeth Jarrett is my name.
And there's a Chris back here. Wave to everybody, Chris. Is there anybody else we missed that's here for the first time?
A couple in the back.
Couple in the back.
Oh, John and Rita. Welcome. I'd like to also welcome our Zoomers, Irene, Ernie, Carol Ann Graham, Kent and CJ. And Danny, do you have any others?
Yes, I do. We have Joyce in Alabama, Ann Matthews, Connie, Betty Ann, and somebody with a strange name, iPhone.
Well, welcome. We're so happy everyone is here. I'd like to have Janet come up, and she's going to do the board welcome.
Thank you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to welcome everyone who's here in person, or if you're watching on Zoom, or if you're watching at a later date on YouTube. We are so thankful that you are sharing your energy with us. My name is Janet Prince, and I'm the Ministry Coordinator here at Unity of Kanawha Valley. The mission of Unity of Kanawha Valley, I'm going to read it for you. It says, through love, teaching, and service, we affirm our connection with our source and aspire to consistently make choices that align with love for one another and for ourselves. We encourage creative expression through music, art, writing, and movement. We provide a safe, peaceful, loving place, as well as resources for those who are exploring their spiritual truth. So that is what Unity of Kanawha Valley is all about, a welcoming place for you to explore the truth of your being, which is that you are divine. But this all starts with loving yourself. So if you would, put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. This is my heart. I am loving and kind. Love starts here with me. It ripples out to everyone I meet. Love returns to me. And something amazingly awesome happens for me today. And so it is. So if you'd like to stand up, this is the time when we spread that love to one another. So take a moment to greet one another, meet somebody new, hug an old friend, but tell this person, woo! Boy, howdy, that feels so good. Woo! Okay. So now we take the time to thank each and every person who has had a part in making this service possible. And can you see this list? Can you see the number of names on this list? These are all the people who volunteer and give of their time and talent and treasure to keep Unity of Kanawha Valley open every Sunday. We have a prayer chaplain team. We have a team that hosts the Sunday service. We have our wonderful musicians. We have our AV team. We have a search committee that is looking for a new minister. We have a nominating committee, a hospitality committee, a landscaping committee. We have an usher greeter team, and we have a Unity Cares team, which will send out cards and visit those who might need a little something extra. So even though we have all these people who do all these things, there is room for you. So if you want to be a bigger part of this community. This community is open to you. And I want to take a minute to recognize our board members. We have Laura, Alecia, Beth, David Getman, Phil, Amy, and Ernie. Your board members work extremely hard and put in a lot of hours to make sure that they are good stewards of the resources that Unity of Kanawha Valley has. So we want to give them a big thank you. And let's call up our junior bell ringer, Tegan. Thank you, Tegan. From the greatest to the least, it puts everyone, it takes everyone to keep the service going. We often say here, we even sing a song about it that says, I behold the Christ in you. And what this means is that I see the amazingly awesome person who is here, who shares their unique gifts and talents. And our job here at Unity of Kanawha Valley is to help you uncover and appreciate the amazingly awesome person that you are. Megan Lyon on her Facebook page posted a quote by Maya Angelou, and I want to share that. My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. So now I'm going to take off the board welcome hat and put on the meditation hat. So if you would like to take a few deep breaths and get comfortable, turn within, quiet your thoughts, release your cares. Entering the sanctuary of my heart, I open to fresh vision and deeper understanding. I am fully present, centered, and aware of my divine nature. I know this to be true. I am strong, positive, and powerful. Calling upon my faith capacity, I cast a new vision of myself. I recognize and realize my strength, power, optimism, and confidence. Circumstances, events, or others' thoughts do not limit me. I overcome negativity and persevere with patience and hope. Looking beyond appearances, I perceive the truth and stand secure. I view life through the lens of faith. I am greater than the conditions I face and the experiences I encounter. Empowered by faith, I trust what I know. I am strong and unwavering. Challenges do not deter me. I speak, move, and act with confidence, for faith is my spiritual strength. I expect and prepare for only good to unfold. Faith declares that it is so and moves me to act to make it so. My faith is the anchor that holds me fast, assuring me that good will come to pass. I welcome and celebrate the blessings to come. Grateful for my spiritual power of faith, I am perceptive, expectant, and assured. I know that all is well. And so it is. Amen.
The daily words for today, Sunday, September 21st, 2025, are world peace. And today's affirmation, I bless the world with thoughts of peace. The word shalom is synonymous with the word peace, but it means more than just the absence of war and conflict. Shalom, appearing so frequently in the Bible, is also used to affirm wholeness and well-being. True, lasting well-being requires the kind of peace known by living in alignment with God. Anchored in peace, people are less likely to be in conflict and more likely to appreciate the beautiful planet Earth and that it offers goodness and abundance for all. When I pray for a peaceful world, I pray shalom for myself and for each person of every land to have their needs met, to know the lasting of well-being for themselves and their families, to live in harmony, and to work towards our common good. And today's scripture from the book of James, chapter 3, verse 18, and a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace for those who make peace.
This is a song I wrote in memory of, some of you may remember Rebecca Skeen-Webb, who died of ovarian cancer in 2002 on Easter Sunday. But it's also a song that recalls our spiritual friends, whomever they may be, and how they shape and echo in our lives even after they're gone. In the green, green hills of earth, stand and say goodbye to the land that brought you birth, as rain cries from the sky. In the flowers of the field, I hear your laughter still. The candle you revealed burns on my windowsill. In my house, there's a room for you. In my garden, blossoms all anew. In the air, a scent of irises. In my house, there's a room for you. There's a room for you. There's a room for you. On the green, green hills of earth, you stand and wave farewell. I cannot count your worth, all the darkness in the well. There's a Buddha on my lawn, he greets those who arrive. And even though you're gone, your gift is still alive. That's your part if you want to sing along. In the green, green hills of earth. 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 In the green, green hills of earth.
Doug, I heard and felt your passion in that song. I think we all did. Thank you so much. Doug is offering his beautiful CD, his music on these CDs. They're up here. Love offering of $15 or what you would like to give would be appreciative. And again, thank you so much. Something that touched me that Stephen shared of the word, the daily word today of world peace. I also feel that world peace begins with inner peace, as Janet mentioned. Loving kindness meditation for ourselves, and repeat phrases of compassion for yourself and others. Will you please repeat after me? May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be at peace. Thank you. I would like to take the opportunity to introduce our wonderful speaker, Alecia Rice. Her talk's going to be on a spiritual invitation for turbulent times. Alecia is a writer and creator of the Substack publication Mind Shift Musings and a longtime spiritual catalyst. A former podcaster and communication director for Neil Donald Walsh's School of New Spirituality, she now speaks and writes about personal energy management, inviting audiences to serve as living examples of walking with emotional integrity. Let's welcome Alecia up.
Am I good? Can you hear me? Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I've looked forward to this for so long, and it always amazes me how Spirit moves. Your words, the daily word, the meditation, they all dovetail really beautifully with my message today. So I thank you so much for inviting me here. And your song, Doug, to have a friend write a song that you mean so much to them that they write a song for you, that's just very, very special. So thank you so much for that. You know, the soulful energy of the music here at Unity is one of the things that my family and I love the most about coming here. We came here a long time ago, before it was even in this building. We were in North Charleston, and you'd be in that sanctuary and it had the glass and the trees, and you could watch the squirrels playing while Sky was talking. And so we really love that. And Sky, of course, I can't say enough good things about him. So my name is Alecia Rice, and I'm so very honored to be with you today, especially on the eve of fall equinox, this sacred moment of balance when light and shadow briefly share the stage equally before the days grow shorter and the nights stretch longer. You know, it's been a while since I've stood up here. It was probably in 2012. I had a chance, I was invited to talk on December 21st, 2012, if you guys remember that. At the time, I worked for a Swedish biologist and Mayan scholar, Carl Kalleman. And what we were trying to do is trying to assuage the fear that people had going into 2012, and kind of give them a little bit of background about what the Mayan calendar said about that. So that's the last time I was here. But my family and I, we're from Mason County, and we'd still be coming here if it wasn't an hour away. We brought our daughter here because we wanted her to experience a spiritual community rooted in love rather than dogma, a place that could give her roots strong enough to help her weather life's storms. So it's just an honor to be here. So today, we're going to take a journey considering how we care for and manage our personal energy, how we honor our emotional truth and practice emotional integrity, and how we find our center when the world feels so off its axis. So practicing emotional integrity means honestly recognizing, accepting, and expressing our true feelings while acting in alignment with our values and respecting others. I'd like to speak to the part of you today that might be weary, scared, and uncertain, while still holding out hope for something better. I'd like to speak to the part of you today that's possibly feeling angry, confused, and vulnerable, while trying to stay present and not checking out because it's all so much right now. And I want to speak to the parts of you that are trying to find your personal balance and equilibrium while listening for something authentically real through all the noise. I think it's really important for us to look around and acknowledge that we're not alone. So many of us, maybe even most of us, are carrying a quiet ache, a private overwhelm, or a longing for something more steady and true. Today, we'll explore how to find our way back to center, not by escaping the storms we're experiencing, but by learning how to stay grounded in the middle of them, as I believe there's something sacred in our ability to remain soft and steady even when the winds pick up. So a little personal backstory so you understand why what I'm saying is so important to me. I was born in Huntington, West Virginia, but raised from infancy in Glendale, California, a suburb of Los Angeles. My young life was tumultuous. I grew up in a rough neighborhood, in a broken, dysfunctional, low-income home, surrounded by gangs, poverty, and people of all racial and religious backgrounds. By the time I was 18, I had lived in 14 different places. I spent much of my life learning how to steady myself in rough waters and how to become the calm when there wasn't any calm around me. These early years and difficult experiences turned me into an intuitive observer who knew that one day, when I grew up, I would finally be in charge of my own life and wouldn't necessarily have to live that way anymore. These experiences caused me to seek my emotional healing as an adult, which set me on a path to peace, which is one of the most important things to me in life. If you've lived in turmoil, you understand the value of peace. Over the years, I've learned that peace is an inside job. Because let's be honest, the world has felt, well, quite noisy lately, and certainly not very peaceful. Chaotic, loud, divisive. We're not just living in a storm. As spiritually conscious beings, we're being asked to walk through it, awake and aware, with self-control. And that's no small thing. So what if we're not actually supposed to fight our way through the storm? What if we're called to be the eye of the storm, in the midst of the energies of realignment swirling all around us? Calm, still, peaceful, to be that still-centered place where peace lives, not because the chaos is ended, but because we've consciously chosen not to become a part of it. Or as they say in Star Trek with the Borg, we have chosen not to be assimilated. I personally have made a conscious choice not to be socially or politically assimilated because it keeps me irritated and inflamed internally, but to cool those fires from the inside. It's not easy, but it's possible when we walk with intention and attention. There's a moment in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, where Jesus and his disciples are out on the Sea of Galilee. A storm rolls in fast, threatening to swamp their boat with violent winds, crashing waves, and turbulence on all sides. And where's Jesus? Sleeping in the back of the boat, on a cushion. His disciples, panicking, wake him up. "Master, don't you care that we're about to drown?" It's such a human cry. Panic and fear bubbling up into accusation, as we see so frequently these days. We've all been there. But Jesus doesn't shame them. He simply rises, faces the wind and waves, and speaks. "Peace, be still." And in an instant, the storm calms. Then he turns to his friends and asks, "Why are you so afraid? How is it that you have no faith?" Through Jesus' calm, serene example, his disciples learned just how strong his faith was compared to theirs. This gives us all something to shoot for in the midst of our modern storms. I believe this narrative was showing us something deeply human and deeply divine. That faith is not about avoiding storms, but about how we move through them. Our belief system, our faith, when rooted in love and trust, becomes our life jacket. It doesn't change the weather, but it keeps us from drowning in fear. Our faith helps us float above the chaos, anchored in something deeper than current circumstances. So many of us are experiencing our own storms right now. Many of us are in the same storm, but different boats. I know I have been. I've journeyed recently through several back-to-back storms. Some class 4 and 5 rapids that have tried to swamp my personal boat. As soon as one would die down, the next one would immediately whip up. It was challenging and quite difficult for me to catch my breath at times. I'm sure some of you are quite familiar with what that feels like. But I knew what my North Star was: to be patient, compassionate, and present, even when I was stretched thin. I tried not to judge myself, but just to neutrally notice when I was or wasn't in alignment with my intention. In my assessment on par, I did a pretty good job walking my talk. I believe our spiritual calling and practice is about becoming examples of that calm center, so much so that people wonder what we have that they don't. This isn't because we've figured everything out or because we've disengaged from life, but because we've chosen not to let the storms define or change who we are as we stand in faith, that there is a purpose in the storm that's higher than the confusion and the havoc that it wreaks. And let's be clear. This does not mean pretending everything is just fine. It does not mean spiritually bypassing or ignoring what's happening around us. It means being rooted and anchored from within so we're not swept away by the chaos that's swirling all around us. It's about being a living example of the eye of the storm. It's absolutely okay to feel fear, grief, anger, and even empathetic exhaustion. And the most important thing is to consciously choose a balanced, grounded response. Notice I say response instead of reaction, which is more immediate and emotional in nature. We seem to be living through a time of groupthink, or as some might call it, a mass psychosis of negativity and divisiveness. As for me, I'm an optimist that believes that things are not necessarily as bad as they may seem. Keeping in mind that fall equinox is a time of balance, physics tells us that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, like the yin and yang. Conflict entrepreneurs are taking advantage of us by hijacking our amygdalas with fearful, divisive headlines and confusion. Most of what we see coming through our screens is heavy, bad news. If that exists, then we know by contrast that there is an equal and opposite amount of good news that's lighter and more edifying, that can fill us up instead of drain us. But for some reason, it just isn't reaching us most of the time. Seek more of those positive sources and resources out. So my question is, are we reacting or responding most of the time to these rapidly shifting sands we're living in? It all can't be as bad as our screens say, because very rarely do we see positive news. So we might counterbalance the shadow of negativity with the light of positivity in our considerations and our responses. This is what I call sacred discernment. Sociobiologist E.O. Wilson once said, "The real problem of humanity is the following. We have Paleolithic emotions, medieval institutions, and godlike technology. In a world of 24/7 news cycles, social media algorithms, and constant outrage, practicing discernment is a spiritual self-care, and it's completely necessary if we are to navigate these turbulent waters with peace and ease. It's the difference between reacting out of fear and responding from faith and love." And here's something I've noticed. The more chaos that surrounds me and the louder the world gets, the more I crave silence as a counterbalance. Not silence as an escape, but silence as wisdom, as the informer, the one that guides my thoughts and actions. I crave silence so I can listen for the quiet guidance of my heart and soul in the midst of blaring screens, commanding and demanding that I think this, or that I say that, or do that other thing. Because the truth is that the still small voice never shouts, but it's always there, whispering just beneath the surface of the noise. And if we'll just quiet ourselves enough, we'll hear its soft beckoning. It's said that one of the hardest things for us these days is knowing what's true. We can find credentialed experts on opposite sides of the same issue, all equally confident and equally convincing. So how do we know what to trust? I believe that unity, and any spiritually grounded path, reminds us that certain truths are not always out there. They live inside us, inside the wisdom of our hearts. They resonate, they align, they guide. They are sometimes felt more than proven. But we have to be quiet enough to hear it. And we have to be soft and open enough to receive it. Which brings me something else that feels urgent right now. Having the courage to keep a soft heart. I know it's hard. I know how tempting it is to harden, to armor up, to say, I'm done. It's way too hard to care anymore. And I get it. I truly do. But hardening does not protect the heart. It isolates it. By the way, staying soft does not mean being a doormat with no boundaries and no voice. It means to take positive, peaceful action towards things that don't feel right to our conscience. as well as things that do. It means being honest with ourselves about what we're feeling while showing up from an honest place with presence, not performance. Showing empathy and compassion is not weakness. It's a conscious choice to feel, to stay soft, to keep your heart open, even when the world tries to convince you that it's best to harden to protect yourself, especially against your perceived enemies and those you disagree with. And friends, if ever there were a spiritual revolution needed, it might just begin with the courage of staying soft and open as a human in the midst of the immense pressures we're under. That is a superpower. Sometimes people tell me they feel powerless and overwhelmed. What can I even do in times like these when everything feels like it's on fire all at the same time? What are some of my prescribed antidotes? Take your eyes off of others. Concentrate on bettering yourself. Stay conscious and curiously open. Be kind. And strive to keep radiating love and positivity even through the difficulties. You won't be perfect, but the goal is only to be better. So you've got this. It might not be easy, but it's so well worth it, especially for the future of our children. Keep in mind that you don't have to fix everything. You're not meant to. The world is too big for you to fix. You simply need to do your part to make things better from you having walked on the planet during this liminal time of human evolution and transition. We humans are like energetic mycelium. You know, the underground network beneath the forest floor that exchanges nutrients and chemical signals that warn plants and trees of change and dangers like forest fires. What we do and say, especially digitally, reverberates in an invisible ripple of energy that affects and influences the whole of people and places we will never see nor know about. So let's try to soften the immediate reflex to criticize, because we need to check ourselves first for the storms that are brewing and raging in our own hearts before trying to fix someone else. I'm going to ask you a question. Don't judge yourself. Be honest and just notice your answer to the following. Is your energy, your frequency, positive, smooth, and aligned most of the time? Or is it negative, discordant, and erratic? Be gentle with yourself and just notice if it's the latter. Your personal frequency, the way you walk through the world, can neutralize and counterbalance the heavier energies out there. So on balance, let's try to radiate more positivity than negativity. Our personal resonance is our calling card that can influence others, which in psychology is called entrainment or syncing. As spiritual beings, we're meant to make a choice to embody the light and be the prism in a way that helps others experience higher potentialities, even if we never say a word. Sometimes this means simply walking into a room, bearing witness to what's going on, and holding space. Sometimes this looks like refusing to get pulled into the drama and the gossip of the issue du jour, to not be assimilated. Sometimes this looks like blessing a stranger with presence and a smile, or tending to your nervous system, or refusing to call people names so as not to dehumanize those we disagree with. Small things are not small when they're done with love. My spiritual musician friend Cornflower sings a song entitled Monks on Main Street, which has always had resonance within me. We're called not to be monks contemplating our belly buttons alone in a remote cave high up in the Himalayas, but to be monks on Main Street, or Bridge Road. A living example of compassion and love in action. It's one thing to be a monk, to renounce the world, to meet the divine alone on a mountaintop. It's quite another to hold that same inner peace in the city, at the DMV, during a heated argument, when we're having financial issues, or when we've lost our job. As monks on Main Street, our intention is to walk in awareness with soft, open eyes and warm, responsive hearts. We walk doing the quiet work, embracing the messy, imperfect world of humans, becoming the divine in action, thereby transmuting daily life into sacred ground. We don't have to be a megaphone to make a difference. We just have to be a tuning fork, letting our lives hum with a resonance that reminds us what peace feels like, just like Jesus in the boat. Be like Jesus. Because that kind of energy, it's contagious. It spreads, it transforms, and it's timeless. So today, I'm not offering a 5-step plan or some grand solution. I'm offering a reminder, a gentle invitation. Find something joyful to do in your days. Find ways to be the still point in the storm. Practice sacred discernment, turning down the world's volume while listening inward for Spirit's calling. Don't react. Respond. Manage your energy. Don't be assimilated. Don't let them change you. Stay tender. Stay human. Stay open. Because your light matters. It transforms things and people around you without your conscious knowledge most of the time. Your tenderness is medicine in this harsh world. Your softness heals others through the vulnerability and courage of your example. And even now, especially now, there are deeper truths trying to rise up through the noise that many of us aren't hearing yet. We simply have to quiet ourselves to seek them while remaining open and pliable enough to receive them. My invitation to each of us is for us to be monks on Main Street, becoming the change that we wish to see in the world, in the public square. Let's keep listening for Spirit's quiet guidance. Let's keep loving in the midst of chaos and uncertainty. Let's keep radiating positivity and light, being a living example of our faith and our intention. Be the beacon that shines brightly for others as to a different way of being that brings peace, love, and harmony. Our world is desperately trying to find its way. It deceivingly looks like it's melting down, when in actuality, it's waking up. We are the change we've been waiting for. Deep gratitude to you and your spiritual service. This isn't an easy incarnation, but we came prepared. Trust that. Give yourself the gift of peace. It's an inside job. And don't forget your life jacket. Oh, and keep radiating.
Wow. I have a problem that I can't remember too many things. I wrote down so many points that Alecia shared that I can revisit and hold in my heart center. I encourage you to believe, balance, and ground. that you stand in faith and radiate positivity for you and others. Open your heart center and share your love and peace with others. I encourage you to do that when you leave today. I'd like to say that we are a tithing church and that our monthly recipient is Unity Worldwide Ministries. I'd like to invite Janet, our prayer chaplain, and the ushers to come forward.
You'll find the offering blessing on the inside of your bulletin. And if you would repeat that with me. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, I trust God, and I am grateful.
Not to seem to be a Unity grifter, but I did happen to discover a box of my CDs. And if you are of low income, no income, please just take one, to get the music out of the world. The 2 songs I'm singing are in a full production there. And it's also available on Spotify and Amazon and Apple Music. This is a song called Lo and Behold, Godless Appalachian Haiku. It's a conversation with the idea of God and our need for the concept of God in our lives. Blown by wind, pale blossoms blow down city streets like a puff of snow. Wind bends the ginkgo tree like a curling wave in the bright blue sea. Lo and behold, lo and behold. Oh God, you are such a fine idea. Filled with marching pine, evening sun the color of dark red wine. Lo and behold, sparrow chasing cowbird away from the nest where sparrows new eggs lay. Lo and behold, lo and behold. Such a fine idea, Lord, how we wish you were. Oh God, please pray for those who don't believe. Lord, how we grieve for thee. If you're a singer or a hummer.
Thank you. I think you all agree with me that this music was amazingly awesome today, right? So just take a deep breath. Allow yourself to settle into your heart space. Allow that space to open. This is where we are connected to one another. And this is where we feel the truth of our being, that we are divine. We are so grateful for messages that remind us to be the eye of the storm, to trust our faith, to be grounded in the truth of our being. We are full of gratitude for everyone who shares their time, their talent, their treasure with this ministry. We are grateful to have this beautiful building and grounds. And we know that we go forth as beacons of love and light and joy and peace. And all is well. And so it is. Amen. If you'd like to make a circle, we will do our peace song. I know that, I think it was Judy Hamilton had a birthday yesterday. It was either Judy or Janet, I'm getting confused, but one of the two of the Hamiltons had a birthday yesterday. Not sure who else has a birthday, but there's one we can sing to. Who else?
Any other birthdays in the room that we need to celebrate or would love to celebrate? Any Zoomer?
I spoke here some weeks ago and had my wife and son Nathan with me, and my son Nathan has autism, and he is turning 30 this coming Saturday. And he's been planning this for about 10 years. So, and he's looking forward to being middle-aged. So, Nathan.
So Nathan and Judy. Say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I forgot to say, I am the prayer chaplain today. I'll be hanging out over there if anybody wants a prayer. Thank you.